Hello and a very warm welcome to all you project control professionals from Kent Business College. I'm Alex, and over the next few minutes, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful yet brilliantly simple tools in your entire project management kit. Let's get cracking. So, let's have a frank chat, shall we? Does your team's workflow ever feel, well, a bit all over the place? A bit of a dog's dinner? You know, too many plates spinning, deadlines whooshing past your ears, and that nagging feeling that you're juggling way more than you can handle? Yeah? Well, you're in exactly the right place. So, what on earth is this Kanban system that you keep hearing about? Well, let me tell you, it's not some bafflingly complex algorithm that was dreamed up in a secret tech lab. No, its origins are much more down to earth. In fact, it all started with a simple trip to the supermarket. Seriously. Now picture this. You've got this brilliant industrial engineer from Toyota, a chap named Taiichi Ono. He's wandering through a supermarket and notices something incredibly simple. The staff only restock a shelf when they see a gap. They don't just cram it full of stuff they think people might want. They replenish what's needed exactly when it's needed. A light bulb goes off. He takes this just-in-time idea back to the Toyota factory, and by 1953, the Kanban system is born. From tins of beans to car bonnets. Absolutely genius. And you know what? The name itself gives the whole game away. Kanban is simply the Japanese for a visual sign or a card. That's it. That's the big secret. At its very core, this is all about making work visible so you can actually see what in the world is going on. Simple as that. Okay, let's put our professional PMP hats on for just a moment. Here's your textbook definition. It is a visual, pull-based work management system. The two killer words there are visual and pull. The whole thing is designed to do three things: get your work flowing like a lovely clear stream, stop your team from starting too much all at once, and ultimately deliver real value more efficiently. Okay, great story, Alex, but why is any of this relevant to you today? How does a lesson from a Japanese supermarket in the 50s have any bearing on your complex digital projects, or more to the point, your PMP exam? Well, trust me, it's more important now than it's ever been. It matters because the principles of Kanban directly attack the biggest headaches in modern project management. It's built to improve the flow of your work, to hunt down and eliminate those infuriating bottlenecks where everything just grinds to a halt. It helps your team deliver value as a steady stream, not in big, scary, stressful chunks. And you know what? It aligns perfectly with modern PMBOK thinking for one very good reason. It just plain works. Right then, enough of the history lesson. Let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually put Kanban into practice? You know, without it just becoming a chaotic mess of sticky notes that falls off the wall every Tuesday. Let's get this show on the road. There are 5 core principles that make Kanban, well, Kanban. Get these 5 things right and you are golden. 1, see the work. 2, stop starting, start finishing. 3, manage the flow. 4, don't push work, let the team pull it. And 5, the golden rule. Never, ever stop looking for ways to get better. Let's quickly break those down. First step, and this is non-negotiable, you have to make the invisible visible. This is where that famous Kanban board comes into play. Every single task, from a tiny idea to a finished piece of work, gets its own card and goes up on a board for the whole team to see. Bang! Instantly, you've got transparency and a shared understanding of what everyone is actually doing. Now listen closely, because this is the secret sauce. This is the most important and often the most difficult principle to get your head around. You have to limit the amount of work that is in progress at any single time. I know. It feels wrong, doesn't it? Surely being busier is better? Nope, absolutely not. This is all about focus. See? The magic of setting these work in progress limits is that it forces your team to work together to finish things before they start new things. It absolutely murders multitasking, which we all know just makes everyone slower. It shrinks queues, sharpens focus, and massively boosts the quality of the work. It literally stops your team from trying to juggle more than a clown at a circus, which means they can actually catch the balls and get things done properly. And this brings us beautifully to our next big idea. Instead of work being shoved onto the team whether they're ready or not, Kanban uses what we call a pull system. This just means the team only pulls the next piece of work from the to-do list when they actually have the capacity to do it. It puts them in the driver's seat. And this really shows the difference, doesn't it? A push system is like someone just lobbing tasks over a wall at you and hoping for the best.
A pull system, on the other hand, is civilized. It's a proper, well-mannered queue at the post office. You only step up to the counter when a space becomes free. Simple. This stops people from getting overloaded and keeps the work flowing at a nice, steady, predictable pace.
So here's how it all comes together on a board. You've got your list of jobs in the to-do column. When someone's free, they pull task 1 into the in-progress column. But look at those little numbers at the top. In progress has a WIP limit of 3. That means once there are 3 cards in that column, it's full. No one is allowed to start anything new until one of those 3 tasks moves along to review. Same goes for the review column with its limit of 2. It's a beautiful, self-regulating system that prevents traffic jams before they can even happen. This is all fantastic, but how do you prove to your boss, or even to yourself, that this isn't just a colorful arts and crafts project? Well, you have to measure it. You need cold, hard data to prove that the flow is actually getting better. And these are your 3 best friends. First, cycle time. That's how long it takes to do a task from the moment someone starts working on it. Then there's lead time. That's the total time from the moment the customer first asked for it until it's in their hands. That's the one your customer really cares about. And finally, throughput. That's just how many things you're getting done per week or per month. Your mission is to watch these numbers and make them smaller and more predictable over time. Now look, Kanban is a tremendous tool, but it's not a silver bullet for every single problem. As we always say in project management, it's a classic case of horses for courses. You need to know when to bring out your Kanban board for maximum impact. So you should absolutely reach for Kanban when your team is drowning in half-finished work, when you're constantly fighting the same bottlenecks and delays, or when your priorities seem to change on a sixpence. If you desperately need to see what's going on and your goal is a smooth, continuous flow of finished work, then Kanban is going to be your new best friend. However, you might want to leave it on the bench if your project has to be delivered in rigid, fixed time boxes, like sprints and Scrum. If you've got very strict, predefined roles that can't be flexible, or if you've got regulatory constraints that demand a fixed, unchangeable project plan, then a more traditional approach might be a better fit. It's all about using the right tool for the job. Okay, let's wrap this up then. If you take away nothing else from our little chat, remember this. Here is your essential cheat sheet to make you sound like an absolute genius in your next big meeting, or more importantly, in that PMP exam. The single most important thing to burn into your brain is this. The #1 enemy of getting things done, the biggest cause of project delays, is having too much work in progress. The fastest way to speed everything up is, paradoxically, to slow down and focus. Stop starting and start finishing. And if you need to boil all of this down into one perfect exam-slaying sentence, here it is. Say it with me. Kanban is a lean, pull-based system that visualizes work, limits with IP, and improves flow to deliver value continuously. That sentence right there, that's pure gold. So there you have it. We've gone from the supermarket aisle to the core principles and the practical tools. You know the what and the how. So my final question for you is this. Thinking about your own projects right now, where is the very first bottleneck you're going to drag out into the light and tackle? Thanks for your time.